they're getting anything from me is a first-round pick.
Hey guys, we're live on the zesty midnight edition of the MLR podcast right now. We're just kind of shooting the shit. It's 12:17 for me right now, so it's midnight.
It's 12:18 for me.
West Coast.
Yeah,
11, so
sure.
it's
East Coast, Beast Coast.
Yeah, but we got basically every single GM who's ever lived and Osmosis Jones in here, Admiral, so almost all GMs. He was a GM for a solid 5 seconds. I would like people in the chat to let me know if my mic sounds bad, because if it does, I know how to fix it.
Your mic quality will jump up for 1 second, and then it gets worse again.
Like in Discord?
Yes.
Okay, you guys talk.
There you go.
The Dodgers are untainted. They haven't been. Look, I could get it from Cleveland. I could get it from LA.
I fixed it.
Shit! How did the Dodgers get that pick? What the fuck happened? St. Louis moved back up.
Wait, the pick at the bottom? Yeah, St. Louis used the pick to jump in, as well as like 2 other picks.
Oh God. Okay.
Look around. The Dodgers have so many first-round picks.
Yo, Cardinals. Give me that pick.
Cardinals are in here.
Oh no. I know.
anyone want to give up a second-round pick for a third baseman that hits bombs?
I know.
Talk to me after the draft.
I know who.
I have names.
Dodgers.
So is my microphone better now?
Yep.
All right. That's
I am
annoying.
getting a lot of offers for players that I like, but aren't performing super well.
Like,
We're not ignoring you, Pretzel.
Clipper charge.
go. Just blow that shit up. Just start over again. Be one of them teams.
I don't
You-
wanna
you
be
won't.
one of them.
You
I
won't.
could
You
trade
won't.
him to the Dodgers because he's a Dodgers fan.
Yeah, do it.
But I like him though.
Well,
Your sentimentality is why your team is bad.
You're so right. You're so right.
I mean, yeah.
I don't even know what name he was talking about.
Clipper charge. He's an oldie but a goodie.
He was supposed to go in the first round and he dropped in the second and he's batting 200. He has 3 walks though, and he has a home run. He's not that bad. Oh, he's that bad. Oh, he's that bad. Oh my god.
Yeah,
Oh,
you should trade him. Trade him to somebody who isn't here, so he can be like, he's still good.
Trade him
Just
to
send him to
LA.
the Dodgers. Dodgers will take him, I assure you. Or San Francisco. San Francisco will
He's
probably
a
take him.
Dodgers fan too, so I feel like I'd be doing him a favor.
Trade him to San
Trade him
Francisco.
to San Francisco.
I've already fleeced San Francisco once. I can't do it again.
Oh, yes, you can. I've talked to him.
No, can I?
At Twins.
His pick is after Philadelphia.
San Francisco won't respond to my messages.
Jay,
Well,
are we actually broadcasting right now?
Yeah.
Ideally, I
Oh my
want that.
gosh.
Ideally, AJ Preller. I want,
Well, who's
I
listening?
want that pick.
I'm just letting them do their shit, dude. There's too many people here.
You'll know when I try to talk because I'm the only person that sounds like they have their testicles more than 6 inches below their torso.
Damn, dude.
Shut up.
Jesus.
Dude, Rabbi's got a good
listen,
voice.
listen to yourselves. Come on.
He's not wrong.
Oh, except for my GM, of course. He's also
Yo, Rabbi's got a sweet voice though.
Oh, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Well, why won't the Dodgers respond to me? I'm having a panic attack.
Jeez,
Dom,
dude, chill.
I've been trying to figure out who Dom sounds like, and I realized he sounds like my friend James.
Ah,
which is
fuck James.
It's not a good thing. James is kind of a bitch.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Sorry, man. Shit happens. sometimes you sound like James. Sometimes you sound like Mussolini. Shit happens. I'm not saying you sound like Mussolini. It's just that you can sound like Mussolini. Maybe if you try to speak Italian.
Maybe the Red Sox had the right idea with just not trading and not just their GM just not
The Red
existing.
Sox are AWOL.
It's some
The
4D
Red Sox had
chess.
the right idea by their GM committing suicide.
Seems like it's getting to that point. Jesus.
He's just playing 4D chess.
Legit though, we should probably have a backup for the GM of the Sox.
We might just play a Braves/Expos and just kind of
Just putting more GMs in there.
just interim if he doesn't. I think he's fine because he's active on Reddit. I think he's just not really used to Discord.
Well, isn't one of the requirements being active on Discord?
Yeah. I mean, if you've seen our looking for GMs, I mean, you take what you can get, really. At this point, you just take what you can get. So
the one thing I have really been enjoying about some of these trades and stuff today is seeing the players that are hopefully gonna end up as like building blocks for these new teams.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Like the established players that are now ending up on expansion teams. I think that's pretty cool because some of those guys are previously somewhat unheralded players who are going to get a chance to actually show off what they can do instead of like sitting behind somebody or
Yeah, that was my argument. That was my argument towards the Cardinals GM to fleece the Rockies Pretzels out of the first overall pick before I just ended up trading the first overall pick to Pretzels anyway. But I was like,
look, I know Texas. Texas doesn't look awesome in terms of draft picks right now, but they low key got two really really good players.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was going for. I was going for the established player over this crapshoot of second-tier garbage.
Yeah, Ross Fire and Garrett Ipnob are both like really good pieces.
Yeah, Ipnob is good.
Those are big pickups.
I've kind of gotten sniped multiple times today. It's not been fun.
Yeah, I straight up stole...
the Rockies getting sniped on Ipnob was fucking awesome.
The Dodger was like, oh yeah, I got a third-round pick, and I was like, well, I could trade 2 fourths for a second and then give you that.
Yo, Dom. I gotta talk to you about something.
What?
So
what are
you
talking
know
about?
you know that so I came to you and I was like all right, I got this fourth and fifth picks. I need to put these into one pick because I got a roster surplus. So I was like, can I get that second round pick? And you were like, how about the third round pick? Which these 2 picks were basically, one was at the end of the second round, one was at the beginning of the third round. So they were back to back. So he was like, what about that third pick? Okay, and because they were so close, I was like, okay.
Their second sounds more appealing.
Because they're so close, so I was like, okay, I might as well try to be like, okay, give me the second pick instead. So I was like, can you please give me the second pick instead? They're just one away. And I thought you'd answer like no, and I'd be like, fine, okay, we'll just do the other pick. But instead, you went to the Giants, and you traded both those fucking picks to them, and I didn't get any of them. So fuck you.
Excellent.
If I wasn't so hard and just accepted your first thing, I would have gotten a better, because I went to Texas and I had to settle for a mid third round pick instead.
I'm not gonna lie, the Mariners tried to trade me that third baseman, and I asked almost every other GM in the expansion if they were willing to trade me picks for him, and they said no, and that was the only reason I rejected it.
So yeah, I made a trade where I turned in an 11th round draft pick to move all of my picks up one.
Yeah, that was actually fascinating to me. I was really enjoying the fact that you did that. Was it like you moved which picks did you? I think you moved up in the
1, 2, and 6.
Yeah, 1, 2, and 6. You moved up by a spot, like all of them, and it was like for an 11th round. It was like some of the weirdest exchanges.
Actually, I moved up 2 spots in one.
Baltimore going from 12 to 7 essentially for free was just like baffling to me.
I don't know how he. I guess because it sounded good. I was like, okay, second and third for 7th overall. I was like, it's not that high. It's like they're back-to-back picks. And he's like, sure, because I guess it's the 2-pick back-to-back effect. And he's like, oh yeah, that sounds good.
I almost got a 10th round pick from Baltimore until he realized that he didn't have a 10th round pick.
I do have a 10th round pick. Seattle gave me a 10th round pick to not pick somebody.
No, you didn't. It's not on the.
Yes, they did.
Is it on the thing? Because it wasn't on the thing when I was checking.
It's not on the thing, but it's.
I saw them say something along the lines of like, send a 10th round pick for something to be confirmed later, and I was like,
it was an undisclosed agreement that I.
Oh, so for the record,
Yeah, so I was just like, okay, well, I'll just wait until I find out what they're getting back for it.
It's literally what it
so
is.
I never
literally...
put it down. I never put it down because I was like, well, I guess I'll just wait and see what they're getting back for this pick.
All right. So Dom, I'm gonna use the 5th round pick on on the guy you want, unless you give me that 10th round pick. So
shut up.
Please.
Tom, please tell them what that pick is for, because I want them to know, because I know what it's for.
I know what it's for.
It's for me not to pick somebody.
Not to pick somebody that's already going.
That's already going. That's funny. I was hoping that they would already be going solely so that it would literally just be free.
I was trying to explain to these Mariners GM how they lost on that trade.
Still gonna win the cup.
I'm not gonna lie, I tried to flip that 10th to Texas for 9th, and he was like, what? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck? Like, I'm not gonna just give you my 9th for your 10th straight up.
I tried so many times.
Why wouldn't you? You gave Colorado your 12th for their 12th straight up, which was moving down a spot.
I thought that was hilarious. I just wanted to do a pick swap in the
You
12th.
already have a track record of worsening your draft position.
I messaged so many GMs. I messaged Mike about Pi about 4 separate times with 4 separate deals. Because assets just kept getting flipped, and I had different ones, and then he would have something else, and then the trade would fall through, and then I was like, well, what the hell's happening?
All right, hey guys. Before people start talking, I wanna, since we have 1,005 people in here, can we just get like a roll call of who's who? So like start from the top. So AJ.
AJ Brother, Padres GM. I also GM the Braves for 4 amazing innings.
All right, next.
Dom Duquette, Orioles GM, literally trying to wheel and deal. Almost was thinking I was going to get Johnny back, but I don't know.
All right, I assume Gino's not going to talk because he has his mic muted, at least now. But hi guys, I'm Jay Bird. I'm the commissioner and also the Phillies GM, and I like you. All right, next. Nick, if you have a mic. I don't know.
Yep, sitting here. Mick Frizzle, Nationals GM.
All right, next.
Trainer of every future.
You good?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I'm Osmosis Jones. I play for the Nationals. I'm the stat guy, and I'm not going to fucking talk your ear off right now.
All right. Next.
Pretzels Poffenmiller, Rockets GM.
And has 8 picks.
I'm Rabbi Chase. I'm Rangers GM.
Reagan, if you have a mic. If you don't, it's fine.
He does.
Ronald Eagles, Mariners GM.
Pony.
What's up? Kick the Pony, aka Whit Bass.
Aw, shit.
Double Rays GM.
Look at here, we got the Cardinals guy.
Also, I have gotten so many bad trade offers for the number 2 pick. I just want to say that.
Shut up.
I didn't offer you anything for the number 2 pick, so don't worry.
I had we had a lengthy conversation.
If the shoe fits, I'm just gonna say wear it.
This is the. I'm just gonna. I want to touch on this because, and I will name one particularly really bad example, but like, I feel like the value that's getting assigned to draft picks is really weird right now, in the sense that, like, people are moving up and down the board and trading picks from other rounds for picks from other rounds, et cetera, et cetera. I think the Dodgers parted with number 4 in exchange for. Okay, St. Louis, you can correct me if I'm wrong on this. You got number 4 overall and the Dodgers' 3rd rounder in exchange for number 12 and your 2nd rounder, right?
Who are you talking to?
Maybe he's muted.
He's right. Yeah. You're right.
Cardinals, but basically the Dodgers traded number 4 and a 3rd rounder for number 12 and a 2nd rounder. But at the same time, Rio tweeted, and then the Dodgers GM later confirmed that he was asking for like multiple active players for just the 4th pick. So it's like, in what world is the 4th pick worth more than one active guy, and yet you're also going to trade the 4th pick and a 3rd rounder for the 12th pick and a 2nd rounder?
He asked me.
I'm very confused by that thought process.
He asked me
sense to me.
for two active
I feel
players.
like you guys are. I feel like you guys are thinking that a draft pick is a confirmed like a high draft pick. He's a confirmed good active guy. No, I mean the confirmed good active guys are the guys that are already on teams. The draft picks are all inherently uncertainties. Like the number 1 overall draft pick from the last draft is not that great. Like no hate on Twinkie Power or anything, but he's not that great of a player.
I mean, he's active.
And like, he's
So
active.
here's the funny.
Beyond my point is that beyond like the first round, beyond maybe the first round, you're not getting anything guaranteed. And people are asking for these ridiculously high prices for draft picks. I'm like, you are getting some really, really, really good offers for draft picks right now, and you're turning them down. Like, you're getting a confirmed, guaranteed active player for a draft pick. Why do you not do that? I don't understand the thought process.
I'll say the best offer I got was from the Nationals, and they offered me 2 players, like 2 established players. And if I didn't have my eye set already, like I have my pick already, I know what I'm going to pick. And I already talked to the Rockies guy to make sure he's not picking my guy. If I didn't already know that they were extremely active already.
I'm pretty sure I know who both of you are taking, but I'm not going to say anything.
Unless it smashes me, I'll confirm or deny it for you.
Hey, dude, did you see what Mike said in the game discussion? I pinged you.
Give me one moment to respond to that.
Okay, but yeah, but if you got wait, you got an offer from the Nationals?
Yes.
Wow, okay. I didn't expect that.
So here's I can
plus a pick.
It was hard to say no to. I'll say that it was hard to say no to.
I'll tell you. So this is obviously Mick Frizzle, but I'll tell you point blank, and I've said this to many different guys, especially the expansion GMs, that when it comes to making a draft and putting a draft together, if you guys go back and look at the previous draft from last session, from last season, it essentially looks like, I mean, you can look up and down the board of, like all of these guys that got drafted. And I'll tell you, I missed a couple times, but not very often. And I literally just went after guys that I knew would be active in the Discord. Literally, I put together a team of guys that would make the most balanced roster I could possibly find. And I have right now 15 players on my roster right now that if I ping them in the Discord or I ping them on Reddit, and the umps can back this up, they will respond in an hour. I mean, it's almost a guarantee.
Yeah.
I
mean, it's good.
But not necessarily even the good part. I mean, obviously we played well, but the fact of the matter is that I've got 15 guys who would be bona fide everyday players for almost anybody, not because of their talent level, but just because of the fact that they will show up every single day. Like, they're active all the time. Like, my guys that are bench guys right now that aren't even playing in the current game are just sitting on call for pinch hit opportunities. And that's honestly the only way that I actually looked at my draft. When we went through the last time, I said, look, let me just find the most active guys I can possibly find and draft them. Now, I will say this. Most of them are Nationals guys. Most of them are guys that I know from our sub. But the fact of the matter is I drafted them because they were active. Didn't even give a shit whether they could play or not. And I've got a great scouting department, so that helps.
Well, I think that's the thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
The GMs who were in the game previously, like me, Reagan's, AJ was in for a little bit. AJ Preller, not AJ Osmosis. But, like, we have that advantage that we know it's not about, like, it's all a crapshoot. It's a number guessing game. So you're not going to have, you might be better scouting, but that's what you're looking for is active play. That's what I'm looking for. All the guys I interviewed on prospects were on Discord. I didn't message a single person on Reddit because I don't even want to deal with that.
However, and this comes back to the point that I was just making earlier about I'm really excited to see guys who have been sitting on benches for teams get chances with these new teams. And that goes back to, like a guy like Jay Lupp now being the first guy on the Dodgers, and he's going to get the chance to actually play all the time. Or a guy like Brandon Oconee, who didn't get a lot of play time with either of the teams that he was on, but anytime he did get play time, he showed up. And now he's on a new team, and he's going to show up for that team, and I know he's going to be an asset.
Was Lupp a starter on the Braves? Because he was a starter on the Phillies. Because he was really good for the Phillies, and then he immediately dropped for the Braves for some reason. Like I didn't mean to leave the Braves out to dry on that trade. I legitimately thought that was a good deal. I kind of felt bad after when he didn't respond his first at bat.
All I'm saying is that my general point is that there are teams that are getting guys that are going to contribute. Like, even if they don't have flashy numbers or whatever right now, if it's a guy that's going to show up every time, you've got yourself a great player. So, that's already a huge step up over a lot of the names in the draft that we don't know anything about. So, that's really my only point.
Yeah, that's my biggest sort of the thing that drives me to like a player the most is their activity. Because if I know that they're going to be there every day, it's fine. I didn't draft at all, but I think my team came out pretty well still.
Dude, no shit. And there's a GM right now. I'll tell you point blank. I drafted Tim Land, who's now the GM of the Pirates, in the 10th round. No shit, the 10th round. And I just got to the point where I was just looking around. I was like, fuck it. Like, I need to find a guy who's going to be active.
He drafted Tim Land because I was like, I know Tim Land from the trade deadline game, and I know he'll be active.
Yeah.
I literally was just like, I remember him. I've worked with him before. Just pick that guy. He'll probably show up.
I should have picked him earlier because I'm very acquainted with Tim Land.
But there are guys like the dude I picked right after him had one of the best karma I'd ever seen on Reddit. I was like, how the fuck is this dude available? He didn't respond to not a single message, not one.
Yeah,
and karma was not a deciding factor.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, being on the Astros, that's helps motivate me to find active players, because it was really our team Discord that we had. We had me and Woozy. We were the two most active players, obviously, because we were all over the regular Discord all the time. Even more active than our GM. And then we'd have other guys like Buck Cheeks who would come in, once every week and be like, "Hey guys, what's up? What's going on? What's the scouting report?" And then
I'm literally only good in high leverage situations, Cheeks.
Yeah. And then was this I just know talk or something? I forget what his username is, but I think it's Jake. 12. Yeah, he would come in once every 2 or 3 weeks, and then you had a guy like Astros Nation who was weird because he'd come in, he'd be active in the team Discord, and then when he would come up to bat, he was nowhere to be found. And then he's fixed that lately, but it's from that sucked because all these other teams are talking about in our team Discord we got this and this, and I'm like, man, that sucks because our team Discord has 2 messages a week.
Our team Discord is fucking lit. If I was to screenshot you right now of everybody that's active, I guarantee there are 8 guys that are online right now from our Discord. And if I was to send out something
there's only 4, but if I were to everyone take it'd probably be 8.
Oh yeah, without question. But I'm telling you, and I've mentioned it. Yeah, but it's about activity. You can put guys in the right spot to be able to be competitive, to be able to go out and do that. And we've got a player of ours who does our scouting report every week for every single guy.
Shout out
we have doubles. Oh my God, I swear to God, every pitch that's ever been thrown in Major League Reddit ball is on our scouting report. The whole thing.
I would take a screenshot of what Meerkat Timmons has done in our spreadsheets, but it's literally 4 pages long with well over 400 numbers in it, and that's just for Darth Vader.
Yep,
I'm not even joking. That's probabilities of pitches. That's to the 100th, the 10th, and the 1.
Mm-hmm.
And he has probabilities of what's going to be next, what's likely, what he hasn't thrown this game, and he updates it in real time because he said he has a really, really boring job. So when he has spreadsheets open, his boss doesn't actually notice.
Yep.
Okay, just really quick.
But does he have Darth Vader's estimated time of response though?
Oh my God! Don't get me started. Okay, I just have a funny story to tell really quick. So Misspelling messaged me on Reddit earlier today, and he was just asking me a question about the draft and also a question about stat stuff that I do as the official statistician of the league. And he was asking me like, okay, he basically asked, do you keep any stats beyond just what's on the spreadsheet, like batting average and runs and RBIs and doubles and whatever else? And I was like, well, yes, I do keep more than that, but a lot of the other stuff that I do other than that's not on that spreadsheet is part of a really big project that I'm working on that's not ready for public consumption yet. And then he's like, well, okay, do you have data on like pitch numbers and batting numbers and like swing numbers and stuff? And I'm like, no, I don't keep track of that personally. I know some guys do, but I don't. He's like, oh, okay, well, I went through and I gathered everything and like, here's the average pitch. And it was like 493 or something. I just messaged him back. I'm like, are you telling me the average pitch is close to 500? No shit. Like, thanks, dude. Thanks for that piece of information that the average pitch is close to 500. Like, Jesus Christ. I just don't know what good that information is, but like, more power to you for fucking getting it, man. Like, I'm sure you'll find something to do with it.
Whenever the Phillies win, we basically we're like, I guess this is just like stroke our own team's cocks hour, but like whenever we win, we just kind of just go into like a big like love fest of like, I love this team, we're great, this is awesome.
That doesn't happen very often.
Hey man,
our team
almost 5-2.
Our team just goes to sleep.
It's like every day for you.
Our Discord was like super active for like 3 weeks. And then I know that 3 of my guys have heavy work. Wit does. I don't know exactly what he does, but he said he was going to be like working for an hour for. Oh, actually, you know where Muse is? That's why he's not active, because he's on vacation. I forgot about that. I know Wit has a really heavy workload. I know 826 works in an office. Smith literally works on the staff of a college football team, and he travels around with them, so he doesn't have much time. Meerkat and Chipper Dipper, 2 really new additions, are like the most active guys in my Discord, and it's not very active, so not gonna lie, I'm hoping I can get Mr. Earl of Leicester at 7th, so I can have another person.
Hey, I said no spoilers. Shut up.
I can tell you that
But I have a good backup plan.
Old Johnny
I'm gonna tell you right now that
has
he
like
will be available.
5 kids.
All right, sorry, go again, Wit.
I said I could tell you that Johnny Dickshot has like 5 kids, so he's got a little basketball team going. like legit, he's got a stepson, he's got a 4-year-old, and then he has 2 twins who are like fucking 3. So he's got his.
And Johnny was the most active person on the Discord too, which is the funny part.
And don't forget
Putting
about
those dick shots around. That's all I'm saying.
He's just eating mom's spaghetti all goddamn day.
Yeah,
he's throwing them dick shots around home.
Clip and Burn just disappeared. Clip was really active.
I mean, Clip was one of those guys who gets extremely excited for the draft and maybe the first round, but you could tell that like as soon as this game got into like a month old, he'd be out of there. I mean, he seemed like one of those guys who were just like very super hype about something like this, but then like they get bored really easily and run off.
I have to give it to all the guys, even though they're not crazy active in the Discord. They're relatively timely with their hits. Sometimes they get a little behind, but for the most part, they're all pretty on top of it.
I'm not gonna comment about the speed of the Pirates and the Orioles.
So if that game is not happening, like, are we just gonna give a no on that game?
We should.
All I can say is that both pitchers have been very slow, and a lot of the hitters have been slow as well.
I think a lot of them actually don't know that the game is still going on.
Speaking of this, I think I have to
Probably
give
because they haven't hit in fucking 12 days or however.
I have to probably give Savage Vapor a strikeout right about now, so I'll do that.
Oh my god, the fucking Tigers too.
Right?
Did we
Dude.
move up
It's just
how
the
long
pitcher.
pitches ago?
Same.
Like, Jay, you're umping that game. How fast have we been and how fast have the Tigers been?
I think I have like a bro crush on JBedia because I literally the first few innings I would say, okay, the at bat results this, what's the next number, and I'd click away and then I'd click again and then bam, new mail 30 seconds later. It was ridiculous, dude. That guy was on point.
JB, so for a while he used to send he used to get like really crazy and he would send 3 numbers at a time because he's like, I don't want to be that guy. I never want to be that guy that people are pinging me to be like, throw your pitch. So he would send multiples at a time to make sure that he's not that guy.
Well, he's very good at. I mean, I'm not complaining about him being that guy at all. I really like his response time.
And to respond to whoever's talking in the in-game discussion, the only thing I'm ripping the Tigers for is been really bad. Like we waited like literally 24 hours to get a pitch. We just waited on another guy who, you know, we just spent another 12 hours waiting on a guy who's going to get auto-K'd. Like, this game should be a lot farther along than it is by now, considering how fast some other people have been. It's just been some really, really long holdups from them.
It's the first time I've ever had.
Pedro Baez. Pedro Baez is pitching.
It's the first time.
Fucking God.
It's the first time I had a problem with a pitcher like that, really, in all my time umping. I've never had a pitcher miss not only 1 at-bat, but 2 at-bats. I usually don't think of pitchers being the one to hold it up so long that they get an auto walk. I've never had that happen until this, and I had it happen almost twice in a row.
I was literally a minute away from doing an auto walk on Tiberius. Like, I submitted the comment that it was an auto walk, and then I went back to Discord and he messaged me a number, and I was like, go with the number, because I was like, but he was literally a minute away from being the first auto walk in Major League Baseball history. Like, I literally posted it, and then he gave me the number, and I went in the ump chat, and I was like, number, what do you guys think? And I think Faiku was in there, and he was like, just give it to him. I was like, yeah, fuck it.
So, funny story. So I'm a real life college baseball coach, and on the regular, like every day at fucking practice or whatever, my players ask me about how Reddit ball's going.
No way! No way!
Hey, get them to sign up. Get them to sign up.
Hey,
Hey,
well, you informed them that half of your players are now GMs?
So, funny story. There are actually a couple of my players who are current MLR players.
Oh shit!
And I'm not going to reveal them.
You should.
No, I'm not going to. Partially because I don't want to know their Reddit information, but I know for a fact that they play. I know for a fact that they play because I know for a fact, like, they ask me about like specific things, and I'm like, wow, you actually do play.
Dude.
Like, you're actually in there.
Dude, you just made my life.
Yeah.
You just made my life. You just made my life there.
Doesn't that break some like NCAA codes there? Those are some NCAA violations. Playing on a different team, you can't do that.
Like when we did the trade deadline game, and I would go look up players for the trade. Like, I would go to a player's history, see, like, because like part of the reason I would trade for them is that they were active in their sub, and like the first 3 posts were like on furry websites or some shit, and I'm like, all right, like I should stop doing this.
Dude, I got my hands on a guy. I ended up trading him.
You got your hands on a guy?
Nice.
I got this. I traded for this guy who I know from a different community. Like, I know him, so I was like, oh, I'll trade for all the guys that I know. So I acquired this dude that I knew, and then I was like, oh, he's actually got a decent amount of karma. Like, I could probably flip him for some good users. And so I went to go look at his account, and it was literally just like porn gif. Like, just he was literally.
There's always karma in the porn games.
There's
always
He was just stacking up.
So,
he was just stacking up that NSFW karma. I was like, hey, you know what? Teams need a porn guy. So I'm going to trade this guy.
Hey, you got to boost morale sometimes, you know?
So you're saying you traded for Ken Bone? Is that what you're saying? You traded.
So you guys want some good news?
No, I traded for
in the bone zone.
I traded for Hideki Matsui.
Hey, which one of you guys? Which one of you guys? I'm pretty sure it's one of the current GMs. Which one of you guys had the porn account?
GM.
Yeah, it was him. It was one of the dances with narwhals.
One of the narwhals, right?
Jam had the porn account, yeah.
All right, guys. Do you want? I have some good news and some bad news. Do you want the good news first or the bad news?
Bad news first.
Bad news first.
Bad news is the doppelganger Chad Barrett did not sign up. But the good news is we got so many fucking signups that I had to close the goddamn signups. So yeah, that just happened.
On baseball.
Dude, they really delivered. Thank you to everyone who's
how I found
listening. Thanks to everyone who's listening.
How many new signups are there? Because I know that the sub had like 150 more subscribers in like 2 days.
I mean, have you looked at the free agent list in the new spreadsheet?
I don't even have the new spreadsheet.
I'll show you. Look at the free agent list.
It's on Reddit.
Is it?
Yeah.
There you go.
I put in a game discussion, but look at that. Look at how many people are on that list. That's at least 150.
When it was the PLR and I looked at it, it was season 2. There we go. Free agents. I don't even want it. Oh my god.
Dude, you're opening a can of worms.
Every fucking position, the list is that long.
Oh shit, I see some
and there's
big name Reddit
no
users.
asterisk. There's like 2 asterisks.
We have two r/baseball mods in this draft right now.
Our baseball mods?
Yeah. We got 2 of them.
In Cardiff.
Oh yeah, well never mind. I'm sorry, I definitely knew those guys.
Is everyone in this?
Well, just looking through, Nighthawk is in there.
Yeah, she is too.
JMB is in here.
Is everyone in this podcast right now? Are they returning GMs?
Technically speaking.
No.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, just like, is this like your first time doing Reddit baseball or whatever? Because this is my first time doing this whole thing.
I saw this right when they did their first draft, but right afterwards. Then I had some stuff that happened, and then I came back, and then suddenly there was a GM spot.
There's a lot.
AJ Preller played for me for like a week.
Dom, Mick, and Jay are the only 3 in here that have been a GM the whole time.
Okay, and so you guys just went from players to GM?
Funny story. Two current GMs came from my roster, and I guarantee you that if AJ wasn't, or not AJ, but Osmosis, if he wasn't the stat guy, he'd be a GM. And I can tell you for a cold hard fact that there will eventually be another one of my players who will turn into a GM.
Okay.
I'll tell you.
I feel so about that.
Mick is the Greg Popovich of MLR, basically.
if we had this
saving coaching tree right now.
Bill Parcells, he's got that coaching tree.
Yeah, exactly.
If we had two leagues still, we would Admiral would actually be a GM right now. So I guess you're right. Yeah, he had the White Sox.
I was gonna do the White Sox.
It didn't work out though, because we changed our mind for the 50th time. But this one seems to have stuck. So
we changed our mind as we do constantly.
Yeah, don't actually show that GM.
Juan Diego, just let you know, I'm not allowed in the Astro subreddit anymore.
What'd you do?
Yeah, what's up, man?
You got banned from r/Astro?
No. I was, like, the whole sub turned on me. Like, I was getting downvoted all the time and shit.
Dodgers.
All because I defended Carlos Gomez. And you know what? I'll do it again.
Yeah, fuck Carlos Gomez. You know what? You deserve to be banned. Why?
You don't boo your own players. You don't boo your own players.
Yes, you do. I'm an Astros fan, actually running the Rangers. It's kind of a weird situation I got going.
I'm a Mets fan, okay? We lead the league in booing our own players, okay?
Exactly.
I was going to say, I think
the boo to cheer ratio.
I think Whit Bass might be the only person I've ever met who sincerely and legitimately dislikes his own fan base.
Fucking
Like,
Mets
yeah,
fan.
no,
Fuck it,
no.
don't even get me
He's like,
started on that.
dude, I love the Mets, but Mets fans are the fucking worst.
I'm a
God,
Cardinals fan.
We are.
Hey man, Dominic
Hey.
Brown had it coming.
We're like how I don't understand how we can be so entitled yet we haven't won shit.
Hey, 1986.
Like,
Welcome to Dodgers fans.
come on, like it's fucking come on, guys. Like I don't even go to our New York Mets. I don't because I know I'll get in an argument and I know it'll ruin my day and I just don't need that negativity in my life
The
anymore.
Orioles sub is.
Are you a Jets or Giants fan?
Guys, how many more years do the Cubs have to not win a title until they stop acting in touch?
109 years.
Is it going to have to be another 108 years? I live in Chicago, for those of you who don't know that. And I constantly,
Oh, fucking Cubs.
people constantly talk shit. My Cubs fan friends are constantly talking shit at me, obviously, because I'm a Nationals fan. And this year was obviously worse than normal. And it's just like, every time I point out a flaw in the team or say something about Joe Madden or say, whatever, if I say something negative about the Cubs, they're just like, doesn't matter defending champs. Obviously, they can't do that anymore. But it's like they were just like, no, it doesn't matter defending champs. I'm like, okay, so are you guys just like good to not win again for another 108 years? Like, where's the hunger here? Like, one title after 108 years, and you guys are just good. Like, all right, cool. Like, you guys can just chill for another fucking century while the Yankees can win 20 more. Like, fucking hell.
The Orioles sub is
I love the Orioles. I love the Orioles. They're my AL team.
It's
I lived outside of Baltimore
wasteland.
for a long time.
It's a wasteland of people screaming trade Machado and why did we sign Davis?
Oh God.
We'll have
so
that
funny,
right.
'cause 2
That
years
second
ago,
question is
they
extremely
were the same
fair.
people
Yeah.
whining
Yeah,
that they weren't going to
it's-
sign Davis.
To be
See, I
fair,
have
I
a
wonder why
plan.
you signed it.
See, I could be Dan Duquette in real life. Dan Duquette in real life, and I could fix the Orioles.
Well, you
got
gotta say his name first.
Trade Trumbo and Davis for nothing. They're not
should've
worth
put in
anything,
Britain.
okay? Resign Manny and Scope.
I didn't get the whole
Full-time-
re-signing Trumbo thing. Like he had a
Great
breakout
man.
year in a pitcher or a
What?
hitter-friendly park. Like, come on.
Dude, Camden Yards is not just a hitter-friendly park. It's a fucking bandbox.
It's a children's playground, is what it is
The
essentially.
Nationals fucking play there every year, and
Like,
literally every year, I find myself saying to myself, "How the fuck was that a homer? Like, what is this park? This park is a fucking
The
little
circle
league
jerk around cores that people don't recognize how ridiculous Camden is.
Listen,
Obviously,
the air
but
is
it gets
different,
too
okay?
big.
It's not the same. The air's different.
These fields has the
Doesn't
same problem.
Camden is my favorite ballpark. It's fucking beautiful.
so
They got
good.
great food. I love it. But
pretty
God
They have the
damn.
best varieties, that's for sure.
Juan Diego Jones is best Oriole. I love him so much.
Quick,
I've pretty much.
I got a Jones
I've heard-
jersey.
I've heard pretty much unanimously from not unanimously, but like I've heard from a lot of sources that Oriole Park is like the best viewing.
Oh,
It's
it's
all-
so
I've
beautiful.
been there.
There's
I've
not
been
a
there.
bad seat in that park. I've sat everywhere,
there's not.
upper deck, everywhere. It's amazing.
I have a love affair
Like,
with the Diamondbacks though, and I love their park.
In terms of being, no, AJ Preller, you are wrong. The worst
No,
park
no,
would
the
be
Trop is the
Coliseum.
worst because it's a converted hockey arena. It absolutely is the worst.
The Trop and the Coliseum are the two worst. Although the Trop will become
There's no
the
question.
worst when the Coliseum gets torn down in like 2 years.
Arlington
They
is
should've-
not
they
in the
should've
top
built a
3 of the
space
worst.
shuttle
That's for
stadium.
28 Dodger Stadium.
Not biased. By the way, this list is not biased whatsoever.
That last one's a joke. I wouldn't put it 28, but it's not in the top 10.
Okay, Wrigley is awesome for the history and awesome because it's like it has to be on your bucket list.
Can we,
of parks
can
to
we
go.
stop so I can finish
And
this list?
it's Wrigley Field, it's Wrigley. It is what it is. Wrigley Field is also a fucking dump. It sucks.
Oh, yeah, Wrigley's a
Oh
dump.
my god.
Well, that's how I
Wrigley
feel
didn't
about
have
Fenway.
lights till like the 70s. Because they only played.
Wrigley is great other than the fact that it sucks ass.
Wrigley's awesome except for the fact that it's terrible.
Okay, well, I'm just saying, like, it's great for what it is in terms of like getting that Cubs fan experience and getting the history and seeing the ivy and the scoreboard and everything. But it's just like the seats are cramped as shit. A lot of the views are really bad. It's ridiculously overpriced. The tickets are absurdly expensive. The bathrooms and the corridors and the concourses are just like fucking stuffy and concrete and dirty and nasty. And I know you guys are in the middle of trashing on Comiskey right now, and I refuse to refer to it by the new name because that's not when Chicagoans don't like the new name of something, they just don't use it. Like
that's right.
We just all still call it the Sears Tower. So either the Cell or Comiskey is what I'll call it. But I did a red line doubleheader earlier this year.
I like things in Comiskey.
I did a red line doubleheader earlier this year, which is basically me and a friend. We went and saw the day game at Wrigley, hopped on the red line, went down to Comiskey and saw the night game at Comiskey. And
So essentially, what you're saying is you saw the Cubs win and those White Sox lose.
No, they both won actually.
Oh wow!
The Cubs were trying really hard to lose to the Braves, but they didn't. Anyway, it was like the baseball enjoyability whiplash, like of being comfortable and enjoying my surroundings was absurd. Like going from Wrigley where it's just like really hostile and everybody's drunk and it's really kind of dirty and crowded and shit, and then going to Comiskey where it's like people are more friendly and laid back and there's a lot more space and you can actually like walk around outdoors and shit. Like the whiplash was nuts, and it just made me realize how much, not that Comiskey is awesome, but that Wrigley is like kind of shitty.
Now I gotta say, moving on to a different ballpark, but I think Minute Maid is one of the best viewing, fantastic viewing experience. Just because, like, coming and seeing games like in Arlington in like 95-degree heat, and then going like the next Saturday down to Minute Maid where it's perfectly 75 degrees every day in there. It's amazing. There's legit not a bad seat in that house.
I'm also extremely biased. And like I said, I'm extremely biased, and like I said, used to Wrigley, so like average park experiences are probably mind-blowing to me. But when I did go to DC and make my Nationals Park pilgrimage in April, and Nationals Park was really fucking nice.
Old Braves
I went there once.
In like a fucking bad neighborhood, I've heard. Like not a good part of Atlanta.
What was that with?
Turner Field wasn't. Turner Field was in a really bad part of Atlanta.
Yeah,
SunTrust
not the new one. SunTrust
is suburb.
I think SunTrust is in the it's in the suburbs now, but
it's in the Richie Rich suburb.
Yeah,
Camden Yards is in a terrible part of town because all
Camden
of
Yards is in a.
I was gonna say there's literally no good parts of Baltimore.
Like, I would park down by the hospital down there.
Parts of Baltimore.
And I would like speed walk to the stadium and speed walk back and not make eye contact with anybody.
No, I've been.
I don't know if Mike.
I've been to Camden 4 times, and it's not like a scary experience per se, but it's not.
Like I don't know if Mike is listening, but Guaranteed Greenfield is definitely the worst name.
I've been to Baltimore enough times.
The only sports arena with a worse name than Guaranteed Rate Field is the Smoothie King Center for the New Orleans Pelicans.
Where did the Suns play? That's pretty shit too. I don't like that one. It's like the something River Arena.
The Suns, like the Phoenix basketball team?
Yeah, the Phoenix, the Suns and the Coyotes play in this arena. It's like this weird name.
I've seen it.
Talking Stick Resort Arena.
Yeah!
Stick Resort Arena. That's what it
I've
is.
seen that. Yeah.
It's so dumb.
It's still better than the Smoothie King. So.
I love Chase Field though. I have a love affair with the Diamondbacks. I love their announcers. They're like my second NL team, and I love their field.
I JD Martinez on my fantasy team, so I love the Diamondbacks.
I fucking hate the center field wall in Chase Field.
I hate Chase Field.
It's above the wall.
I gotta say, I love the name. The name's great.
I went to
Sleep Train Arena. Choo choo.
My that. Oh, the Suns and the Yotes don't play this.
Oh, yeah. Worse because
the Suns and the
Coyotes is even worse because all the other stadiums in Chicago have great names. Wrigley Field, the United Center, Soldier Field, and then fucking Guaranteed Rate Field.
Soldier Field has to be one of the
Guaranteed Rate Field, ladies and gentlemen.
Soldier Field's also an abbreviation of the full name, but it's a fine name.
Still,
Justin Dingers, I like the D-backs, but just because JD Martinez is on my fantasy team.
I went to Chase Field this summer and I saw him beat the shit out of the Cubs. So
I I went
I
on
saw them beat
a.
up on Leicester.
I went to a Phillies game, a Diamondbacks Phillies game, and we came back in the ninth, and that was pretty fun. I like that.
I was at the game where Peralta hit the inside the park home run.
Ah, shit,
And
really?
it's so awesome because I guess every time Peralta gets a hit, they do like a freight train horn because like that's his nickname or some shit. So like he had the inside the park home run, everyone's going crazy, and there's just like this train horn going off, and I was like, this is fucking awesome. And all the Cubs fans were getting up and leaving. I was like, this is probably the best experience.
Did
I've
you
ever
just
had.
rate? Did you just rate PNC as 12?
Wait,
You don't like PNC?
Whoa, 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 whoa.
You know
It's
what's
actually gotta be top 10, right?
It's deep cuts. That's all.
Train Arena where the Kings used to play in 1988. Like the
Have you forgotten
I'm just
about
gonna
the
say-
bank? It's so
I'm just gonna say
mediocre. I love
The
the
bank
bank.
is pretty mediocre.
So, but I love the bank, but it's not a top 10 stadium.
You guys should go. You guys should see CTC Center in Ottawa. It is just empty there every night. It's bad.
I
It's
feel
not.
like the NL. I feel like the NL East has like really not particularly great stadiums.
I like
mean,
Citi
Nats
Field.
Park. Is
I like
Nationals
Citi
Park
Field
the best park
just
in the,
for the
in
Apple
in
and
the
center
division?
field.
Is
City
it
Field
Nationals
is
Park or
nice.
City Field? Like those are the top two, right?
I've been only
Yes,
to
City
City
Bank.
Field and Citizens Bank Park, so I couldn't tell you.
I went
But like
to
Marlins Park, fuck that.
I like the Braves' new place. It seems cozy.
SunTrust just looks like Turner Field.
But
It's-
with more Waffle Houses.
It has the same like
I mean, that's a
Padres. It has the same Petco sort of like coziness to it, where it just seems like enclosed. It's weird. I can't explain it.
Did AJ put progressive yet?
It's really steep. I would say there's some.
Did you
That's
forget?
another
Very
field
steep.
that I. That's another stadium that I literally never refer to by its actual name. I
Yo,
will
did
always
you
call that Jacobs Field.
Jacobs Field. Yeah, Jacobs Field's a good
It's
name.
Jake.
Who the
Did you-
fuck? Who plays at Jacobs Field? I've never heard of that.
The Indians.
The
Indians.
Indians,
It's-
the
it's
Indians used
progressive.
to.
Oh,
but
that's
it's now
why.
called progressive.
It's
That's what it is. Okay.
literally next to where the Cavaliers play. You can walk out of a.
I
Well, you
love
can't.
It's next to the queue.
cities.
It's
I
cool.
love when cities do that like shared parking lot thing.
It's really cool.
Like,
Kansas
um,
Kansas City does it too.
Oakland isn't going to be doing it anymore because both of those stadiums are moving, but the Coliseum and
It's
Oracle share a
awesome how
parking
close
lot.
the
Yeah.
Indians and Cavaliers play.
Arrowhead and Kaufman share a parking lot.
Yeah.
Kansas City. I'm trying
Cowboy Stadium and Globe Life. They both
I
have
can
it.
just tell you, a lot of Mets fans.
M&T and Camden are.
Are you sure Globe Life just isn't in the? Are you sure Globe Life just isn't in the AT&T Stadium parking lot?
It's both.
Philadelphia sports
That's just a joke about the
complexes
Cowboys.
are in like a big flat land at the beyond the city is just a big flat land of parking lots and stadiums in Philly.
M&T Bank Stadium and Camden Yards, Baltimore. Literally, you can walk to each other within like 30 seconds.
Yeah, they're right,
I'm
and
a
then the
Ravens
casino's
fan,
right next
and
to
I
it.
would really love to go
Hey,
to a game at
osmosis, my boy.
I am a Ravens fan.
It hurts,
suck.
doesn't it?
Yeah, we
It hurts
suck
real
this
bad.
Yo, Preller, have you put CBP on yet? Because there's no way it's
I
top
was gonna say,
2.
Citizens Bank is not top 2. That's crazy.
He put
I
6
just missed
AT&T. AT&T's number 6 apparently.
AT&T's great.
Yes,
Yeah, AT&T's fine.
but I count the bias.
Yeah, I like
the curb
AT&T.
stomp the guy out front.
I like the statues. Those are cool. And
I count
the
the bias that people got curb stomped out front by Giants fans.
I'm okay with Petco being top 5, top 8.
I'm just curious on what his number 1 is.
Oh,
Just
I
gotta
would
match
know
it.
what
There's
number
really
one
cool
is.
statues
It's
if you go to the
America.
right spot.
Uh,
There's a spot outside Nationals Park that's like, it's technically the home plate entrance to the park, but the thing with Nationals Park is that the main entrance is center field, so it's basically the opposite side of the stadium from the main entrance. But if you go to the home plate
The
side,
Murph.
because when I was there, I was just exploring everything. So when I went to the opposite side of the field, and there's some really dope statues on that side of Nationals Park. Like, there's a really cool one of Walter Johnson with like, he's like mid-delivery and the ball is already out of his hand, and there's like metal kind of connecting the ball to his hand. It's fucking cool as shit.
That's the craziest part about
Shit.
Nats
Okay,
Park.
hold on. I just want to
Camden Yards Candlestick.
Hold on.
You
I
keep
just want to say something about Shea as
Two
the
of those
resident
don't
Mets fan.
exist.
Yeah, and 2 of them are
Shea
pieces of
No
shit.
longer exist.
Let me just say something as the resident Mets fan. Shea was such a fucking shithole.
That's
Okay?
a piece of shit. That's
Well,
Four
like
it
games
awful.
there. And there was literally, like, you can't really see it on TV, but you know, they had the apple out there. The apple was surrounded by fucking trash. Okay.
Dude, that's New York for you, though. I mean, that's
What
what better?
Isn't New York City literally just cool?
It's like a
things?
microcosm.
Surrounded by trash.
Shea was a perfect
Great Yankee Stadium.
resemblance.
New
of-
York
first
is a
time I went to
city
Shea, right?
surrounded by trash.
Hey, you know what?
I
Props
was
to
so excited
props
because
to Preller for doing this. It's a
and
shit
first time at
list.
Shea, this is magical.
It's
I
a
was
shit
so
list.
fucking disappointed.
I don't
Okay.
think I don't think he put Sis's Bank Park on there at all.
Just
Unranked.
left the bank off completely.
Because
It's
what
so
happened was
unremarkable
it was
he
too late.
didn't list-
It was too late
I'm
by
just-
the time.
I'm just proud a Padres fan can
Wait,
count
but
to
how
30.
did you come up with 30 parks without putting Citizens Park on it?
I put them all.
You put Candlestick
Don't exist anymore.
and Shea.
No, but he put. But number one was it's Camden Yards is number one. Like the other two just don't exist. But like he has real parks in all of them.
Scroll up.
But like where's
Scroll up.
What the fuck is the Murph?
Check number
where's
2.
the fuck up here?
Check number
Yeah,
2.
what's the
Yo,
number?
ask me
Camden
anything.
Park.
I
Charles
once
Magnus
fell
will give
asleep
you.
at old Yankee Stadium.
Oh, really? Give us a story there. Did you get?
Yeah, so my parents were both teachers, and so I was dead set on going to senior beach week, and my parents were like, "Yeah, that ain't fucking happening, but we'll take you anywhere you want to go." And so I was like, "All right, well, I need to go to Yankee Stadium before they tear it down in a couple years," and I went, and in like the day before, I started to get sick, and I got fucking mono. And I was sitting in Yankee Stadium watching them play the Angels, and my parents had to wake me up to wish me a happy birthday on the Jumbotron when it came across.
Ah, that's sad.
Wait,
By the
I
way,
went to-
just to make fun of AJ a little bit, Jack Murphy Stadium is now known as San Diego County Credit Union Stadium.
Nobody calls it that. It's called Qualcomm.
Hey, guys, can we talk about Qualcomm?
The new worst? Is that the new worst? Thing?
I love that.
Let me explain.
Hey
Let me
guys,
explain.
can we talk about Qualcomm?
Qualcomm is beautiful.
Heard
However,
that
it's
Matt
also
Harvey
dumb.
interview?
You mean the stadium that no longer has a football team in it?
No, I'm talking about the Matt Harvey interview like 5 years ago when he kept bringing up Qualcomm because he had just got sponsored by them, and he kept going like, "Can we talk about Qualcomm?"
Oh yeah. that reminded me of the fucking Woody Harrelson AMA.
Yeah.
Let's keep this about Rampart. Can we talk about Qualcomm?
I think I forgot
Fucking Matt
the
Harvey,
issue.
R.I.p.
I was doing some shit.
I made myself sad.
I said after the whole thoracic outlet thing, I said, Matt Harvey's probably never going to be Matt Harvey again. But I said that thinking that he would still be like a serviceable like number 3 guy.
But no,
No, he's like
You
not
were
even
so
a
wrong.
pitcher anymore.
Well, people are saying that they should use him as his first and second time through the order. He's always spot on. It's always the third time through the order he gets fucked up.
Yeah, I saw that.
I mean, that's not a bad idea.
I don't think it's
I
a
mean, might
bad
as well try
idea.
it, right? If anyone can do it, probably Callaway could.
Yeah, I'm so excited that he's the fucking manager because
Dude,
if
I'm
he
really
could do
pumped
that
for
with
just-
Ubaldo Jimenez, goddamn what he can do with our rotation.
Dude, I'm just pumped for the suddenly we have young managers in the NL East. I don't have to look at Terry Collins and Pete McCannon anymore.
Terry Collins can't
That's a
destroy
plus.
pitchers' arms anymore.
Here's the thing, I'm glad Terry's not the manager anymore, but goddamn it, I love that guy. I'm gonna miss him.
I have nothing against.
I'm a
I
Miss
love
Terry.
Buck Showalter with a burning
Literally,
passion.
I have
my
everything
comment
against
was
Pete
just to
McCannon.
say- literally, my comment was just to say I don't have to look at these old men anymore. Like,
I think
whenever
I
we
think
play
the
Phillies, I'll
average
get to see
age of
Gabe
the
Kapler, who's super
manager
hot.
like 40 years.
Yeah, I told Whit like when I thought that Kapler was gonna be hired, I was like, we're just gonna have like a whose manager is sexier contest every single time we verse
And
each
you'll
other.
always win. You'll literally
Phillies
always
win 100% of the time.
The most
Gabe Kapler is
sacrilegious thing.
100% the sexiest manager in baseball now.
The most sacrilegious thing you could ever say on a Ravens or Orioles subreddit is we should fire John Harbaugh or Buck Showalter. You will just get crucified. It is the funniest thing ever.
Well, the thing is, only one of those things is true.
Neither of them.
So I got traded.
Stop. Neither of them are true. Get out.
And I was saying that about Buck Showalter because Buck Showalter
No.
fucking sucks.
Stop it. Go away.
Walter.
I got traded to the Orioles subreddit.
I love Bug. What did I see?
Year.
I saw like
Fucking the best.
in the Orioles subreddit the other day that he said like at FanFest or something, if anybody's a left-handed and can pitch, come see him.
Yeah.
So I got traded to the Orioles subreddit at the beginning of last season.
Oh, just like because we're talking about Orioles now.
Let
I
Mick say what he's gonna say.
What the hell?
Let Mick tell his story.
So I got traded to the Orioles last season, and I did a really nice like introductory post in one of their like daily threads. And I told him like, yeah, I'm a current college coach, and I spend most of my time in the national subreddit, but like, I've got a lot of friends who live in the Baltimore area.
I'll
and
just
so
say about the Orioles. I saw my side bed. Well, nobody's gonna talk, so.
What?
Saw my side bed.
Can you not hear him?
Right?
Can you not hear him?
No, I
Oh,
can't hear him.
Oh,
You guys hear him?
Mick's telling a story.
yeah. You keep interrupting him.
This is right in the middle of the story.
Ooh, that's weird.
Did he block
so,
me?
so anyways,
Block me.
Mick, did you block Pony?
no.
What the fuck?
That's weird as hell.
I've never
You
seen
mute him or
that.
something?
Wait, Biscuits, can you hear Pony?
Yeah, absolutely. I hear that fucker interrupt me 3 times already.
And Wick couldn't hear that, so.
Oh my god. Okay, so I guess Pony can't hear you. That
All
makes sense.
Go ahead, Mick.
Okay, Mick, Pony, we'll let you know when he's done with his story.
I'm
So-
upset I'm missing the story, though. Someone give me a recap in the chat.
Shut up. Just stop talking.
Go.
All right, Mick, you got the floor.
He's just blocked all of us now.
He's probably really.
Sorry. So I'm back. So I go in the subreddit and I drop this like really juicy comment like, hey guys, here I am, college baseball coach, yada yada. I go through all this thing. And I literally got downvoted so hard that I deleted my fucking comment.
Yep.
It was
Seems
embarrassing.
about right. Seems about
I got-
right.
I got to negative 25 before I took it off, and I was just like, holy shit.
Can you
Negative 25.
can you recount what was in the comment and I'll tell you exactly what was wrong?
I literally just said, yeah, here's who I am. I'm a college baseball coach. I spent plenty of time around a game, like really excited to be able to provide any insight that I can for any of you guys.
Did
that-
you happen to mention that you were a Nationals fan originally?
I mean, I told them I was a Nationals fan, but I got
That was your
traded,
first mistake.
but that I got traded from the deadline game.
That was your first mistake.
I got traded to the Brewers, and they were super cool.
Telling
I got traded to
anyone
the
in
A's.
the Orioles sub you're a Nationals fan because everyone just hates the Nationals because there's a running superstition that since Matt Wieters walked us off, it went downhill. So, and also the whole TV deal. So,
To be
Yeah.
fair, Nationals players have like this weird habit of just ruining their former teams. Like Murphy owns the Mets, Worth owns the Phillies, Wieters does it to the Orioles. Like all the people that come here from other teams just like end up beating up on their old team.
Matt Wieters is the worst regular season player of all fucking time for the Nationals, and he murdered the Orioles this year.
he had like one
I was
home
actually-
run.
okay, so
he had
I
like
was talking
one
to Tim-
home
I was talking to Tim
run.
Wynn about this yesterday, and it ties into how bad Matt Wieters was this year. Because there was a point in time where I was trashing. I was like going around and just trashing on teams for signing Danny Espinosa because Danny Espinosa fucking sucks, and he's a terrible baseball player, and I didn't know why people were signing him. And so I'm just trashing on these teams, like, why are you giving him playing time? He's fucking terrible, blah blah blah. And then I look at Matt Wieters, and I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
man, I'm not allowed to say shit about this because Matt Wieters fucking sucks, and we're playing him
He's
like
bad.
all the time. But now I've flipped on that again because I found an example even worse than Matt Wieters, which is the fact that Rougned Odor somehow played 162 games this year, despite the fact that he was somehow I was looking at his stats from the season. I was just confused. I don't know how it's possible. How is somebody a plus defender who hits 30 homers and steals 15 bases and is worth negative WAR?
Joey Gallo.
Because he's fucking trash, that's why.
The dumbest.
But it's like the most confusing stat line ever. His on-base percentage this year was 250. Like, what? Your on-base was 250? How are you that bad? I don't understand.
Joey Gallo had a very similar first half of the year where his on-base percentage was just god-awful, but he was hitting home runs, and the Rangers were just like, whatever.
Literally, I was looking at players. I was looking up players who have a better WRC plus than Rougned Odor. One of them was Ryan Schimpf. You know, the guy who got sent to the minors because he was batting 150. That guy. He had a better WRC plus this year than Odor.
The guy that was too bad for the Padres.
So there was one point.
Mick.
What's up?
Okay, I can hear him now. I left and came back. That's fucking weird.
Yeah, it was weird.
You guys should have seen the riot when Longoria won the Gold Glove for the AL. Oh my, that was a disaster.
You guys are lucky that they actually gave Arenado the Gold Glove.
I mean, there was some really bad Gold Gloves this year, but that
Longoria's not even the best third. He's like debatably like the one of the not as good third basemen in the AL East. Donaldson, Manny, not in a diverse.
I mean, I can pull up stats right now. Longoria is fine.
Longoria is fine, but I'm going down to the pitchfork and pouring.
I mean, like the really bad ones were like Hosmer was fucking awful.
How did Hosmer win Silver Slugger over Joey Votto?
Really bad. I mean, the thing with Rendon is that he 100% deserved to be Arenado, but like Arenado also deserves the rep that he has. So because like Arenado is a really good defender, like he deserves the rep that he has, and we all know that Gold Glove is like 90% based on rep.
We gotta trade.
Trade alert.
If it's 90% a rep, where's Manny's Gold Glove?
So a good question for you all. Were you guys all up
Manny
for
only
that
has one
midnight?
No, he has two. Yeah, Platinum Glove.
Say again, AJ?
Were you guys up for that midnight Giants-Dodgers game when the Dodgers were losing like 12 straight, and they played that game at midnight, and we were all in the Giants subreddit cheering them on?
I actually was up really late that night, and somebody told me like, "Hey, there's a baseball game starting right now," and it was like 1 a.m. Central. They started it at 11 Pacific.
Yep.
And
I was up.
I was like, "Shit, you know what? Fuck it, I'm staying up till 4 a.m. to watch baseball," and literally first inning, Denard Span takes Kenta Maeda into the Cove, and I was like,
"It was
my fucking man, Span! Hell yeah, dude! You're feeling like anytime Denard Span does something good, I'm always happy. I love that guy."
Yeah, but we gotta trade for.
Because Pretzel needed more picks because he only had 8 picks.
Yeah, they got a Royal for it. Brent Royal.
Texas putting together a little bit of a team. I like.
Right.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, I'm taking Nick's advice. He's real active, and I'm only going after active guys in the Discord. I think that's the.
Brent Royal is a former GM.
There you go.
Well, that's why I have so many people.
What happened?
Former GM.
Texas get
I'm
someone?
just trying to get picks at this point.
Texas got Brent Royal from Colorado for some pick.
Left side of the infield, all set now.
I respect you.
Just trying to get picks.
Like
that's all I'm doing.
I have names.
I was happy with my trade, but
Brent Royal and Garrett Ipnov have.
I was happy with my side of that trade, but I can't deny that he's putting together a great team here. I like it.
I will trade prospects for proven talent any day of the week. I'm all about it.
That's
why I'm AJ Preller. Because I'll get those prospects.
That's why you're AJ Preller, because you're going to overspend on Matt Kemp and Craig Kimbrell and set your franchise back by 3 seasons.
And Justin Upton. Don't leave out Justin Upton.
4 guys.
Can't leave out Justin and BJ up.
So
I'll take BJ, Justin, and Kate. They can all be my outfield.
Played with the Uptons.
Kate plays center.
Well, yeah, she's got the speed.
Legitimately, probably has the best range out of those.
I
Jesus,
thought Kate Upton was married to Verlander.
she is.
Doesn't mean
She's
she can't
keeping
play
her name.
center.
Yeah,
What does that have to do with
Yeah,
anything?
that doesn't mean she can't play center field for the Padres.
2017.
Honestly,
Had to do with
Kate
anything.
Upton should be
Manuel
starting
Margot.
center over George Springer. Let's be honest.
Real-
Margot.
Real talk, I was catching one time in a game, and I was playing against Justin Upton, and he had a ball that just landed.
Really?
No shit. He hit one of the furthest balls I've ever seen in my entire life.
What's the estimate feet? What do you
Off
think?
a guy who got drafted, so it's not like he was playing against some like JV high school scrub.
Estimated was 10 feet because it just came back around and measured again.
It was the circumference of the Earth plus 10.
It's currently making its third trip around the Earth.
It's currently in orbit and NASA's studying it.
I mean,
Do
I
we
feel like
do we
some
have
people,
do we have a current do we have either a current Brewers or current Rangers fan in the chat right now?
I guess.
GM.
I'm the GM of the
Rabbi's
Rangers.
Rabbi's a Astros fan.
Yeah, but I live in the Dallas area, so I get to
Okay,
hear all the
so-
fucking Ranger talk all the time.
So when you guys cheered for Jeremy Jeffress, which is outstanding because I've known him my entire life.
Oh, really?
One of my biggest claims to fame is I took him deep in a championship game.
Nice. There you go.
There you go.
That's how you do it.
I also played on the same team as Jackie Bradley Jr. one
Jackie
fall
Bradley
season.
Jr.
See, I feel like that's kind of cooler than Jeremy Jeffers.
Well, I mean, he was a high school freshman. He weighed about 105 pounds, so fucking wet, and he hit 580 over the fall season.
Jesus. I did that
All
when I
those,
was in grade.
He was a freshman, and I was a senior, and he was playing with us. We were at the time we were the number one 18 and under team in the country. We had a roster of 24 guys, and 17 of them got drafted. He was the only player below a junior level on that team. He played left, and he hit leadoff. And as I said before, he weighed about 105 pounds, and he hit 580 or whatever. Like, it was fucking stupid. You could, I mean, too many to count. Like, it just got to the point where, like, we were stacked. Like, our roster was legit. I was clearly like the worst player on the team, just hot garbage comparison to everybody else. And we'd show up to play, and you'd watch the game, and you'd be like, why the fuck is that midget the best player on this team?
Well, people say that when they go to Houston Astros games.
Oh, nice. That was topical.
He had to say it. Just had to say it. It was there.
My dad. So I'll tell you guys a big secret. I've never even said this on the national subreddit before. My dad coached Ryan Zimmerman.
Damn.
Yo! Why didn't I know that?
So you can credit your family tree with the best player in Nationals history.
Ooh.
So I mean, it was
So
for
far,
it was
he'll be surpassed, but so far.
it was for two. I mean, it was for 2 games. So like, I'll go ahead and call it what it is. It was in an all-star game type setting, but still, to be able to say that you wrote Ryan Zimmerman's name on the lineup card is a pretty big fucking deal. My dad's a Hall of Fame high school coach in Virginia, by the way. And he's also currently a college coach. So when you're thinking about what I eat, sleep, and breathe and dream about every night, you can imagine.
Yeah, Chris Bryant frequents his donut shop in our city.
Mm.
Yep, because he's a San Diego
by the way,
native.
I'm having a girl. So my wife is pregnant right now. We're having a girl in between Christmas and New Year's. Her name will be Nola Ryan.
My middle name is Ryan as well.
My first name's Ryan. Not for the same reason.
Shout out to Aaron Nola for getting the first name.
Yeah.
Shout out to Nolan Ryan for being the half inspiration there.
Yeah, Mick, that's the same reason I have it.
You'll be naming your child after a Phillies pitcher. I want you to remember that every single
no
time.
Joke. Me and my brother are both named pretty comedically. We both have normal names, but it's for like funny reasons because my parents are kind of goofy. So my name's Jacob in the real world. Don't call me that.
Oh, weird.
But
Go on, Jacob.
Jesus.
Shocking.
Jesus, Jacob and Joseph.
My mom wanted to name me Wesley because my great grandfather's name is Wesley. My dad was like, "Nah, that reminds me too much of Wesley Crusher from Star Trek, so we can't do that." I was like, "Thanks, Dad." And so my dad was like, "I've got an idea. Let's name him Jacob Slatter for the middle name." And my mom was initially like, "Oh, that's kind of cool," and then she like actually figured out why he wanted to do that because my dad's favorite Rush song is Jacob's Ladder.
Oh.
He tried to name me after his favorite Rush song.
I get it.
That's amazing.
God damn it.
And eventually they compromised and named me Jacob Wesley. And then my brother's name is my younger brother. My parents, when I was a little kid, went to a Todd Rundgren concert and got it on that night and conceived a child. And so for the entire course of the pregnancy, they knew what night it had happened on. And so for the entire course of the pregnancy, they were just calling it Baby Todd.
That's weird. There was a few of us there at the time.
And then he was a boy. And so my parents were like, "Well, I guess his name's Todd."
you just call him Todd the entire pregnancy, and it's like, well, this is Joseph when he actually comes out.
They would have probably named him. I mean, obviously, they wouldn't name him Todd if he was a girl, but he came out as a man, so as a male. So they're like, "Well, I guess he's Todd."
Came out as a grown man.
He was born a man.
Firstborn son named
Hello,
Cal.
Zoe Todd.
That was the only option.
How much time are we going here? About an hour and a half. What do you guys think? Should we keep going?
I don't think anybody is leaving, so.
We haven't even really talked about the actual league a ton.
I can tell you
Talk about the league, which is why I'm here.
I'm probably Jesus Christ. I can tell you I'm probably leaving because I do need to go to bed. It's like 1:30 Eastern, and
Yeah,
I do have a 2-year-old, so I'm probably going to shut it down. I'm at my in-laws' place right now, and I can't without too much sleep.
All right, man. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll catch you guys around. If anybody's looking for a stud player, hit me up.
Or a future GM.
If you guys can hear the dinging going on in the background, so I've got like 9 DMs right now, just blowing my phone up. So
yeah, you might get what you want.
Like you.
Yeah. So we'll hit you in the morning.
See you, man.
Joey Gallo.
I mean, Morello, we don't like him because we don't like you.
See, Pony, I'm on the same page as you. Like, I just don't like those kinds of players like Odor, Gallo, Judge, etc. Like, I just don't like their game. Like, the whole home runs or strikeouts and
At Chris Davis.
Else. Like, I just don't really like that kind of play. I don't know.
Chris Davis is literally one of two outcomes. Either I am suicidal or I am ecstatic.
That's Aaron Judge.
No, that's Chris Davis, because there was for 90% of the season, it was like, well, we have a rally and it's 2 outs. Oh, Davis is coming off the bat. Well, shit, that's that gone. Fucking, what do you know? He strikes out and it's like,
Ball's got to be on AAA first.
just literally end me.
All right, so with this Juan Diego De La Rosas guy, I'm going to trade all my picks up to get the number 1 pick just to put him on the Rangers because of how much he hates the Rangers. Sorry to ruin the draft. I can support that.
I'm gonna cancel this draft.
If you can get me the 3rd pick,
CK Chris.
We have to get the Boston Red Sox GM back to life first.
Yeah, anyone got some defibrillators?
Yeah, what if this dude actually...
Did you know Aaron Judge smiled and pumped his fist while he ran his first chase?
If you can get Steel Flex,
Gotta keep the meme alive.
Oh, God.
Keep the meme alive.
I still have the fucking keyboard shortcut on my phone.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I Snapchatted about that.
I was legitimately watching that playoff game, and I looked at my iPad, and I was, oh my god, what the hell happened? I looked at I had like 90 messages of Aaron Judge smiling on his fist right at first base after hitting a home run in the playoffs as Ricky for the New York Yankees.
It literally ruined the Discord for like 3 days because that's all we posted.
Sometimes I hate r/baseball just because they suck Aaron Judge off so much.
Oh, it's terrible in there.
But they also
all the Yankees, like when it was like the first like 40 games of the Yankees, and I was like, holy shit, he's gonna win the Triple Crown. He's gonna win the Triple Crown, guys. He's the best Yankee ever. He's better than fucking Babe Ruth.
Does anyone have this clip? I haven't seen it since the game itself. The Aaron Judge smiled and pumped his fist. Someone should have saved that.
Oh, and who was it was Mendoza. What was she talking when she was talking about Bauer? That's who it was. She was like, this guy named Trevor Bauer. Like, nobody's fucking heard of Trevor Bauer. Like, he hasn't been in the majors for 5 fucking years.
From the distant land of Minnesota.
Yeah.
You saw like Trevor Hoffman?
Yeah.
Like, when she said that, we were memeing on that, too, because we were like, who the fuck hasn't heard of Trevor Bauer at this point? Like, you want to the way, in case you've never heard of Trevor Bauer. Like, what? No,
some quality copy pastas like Aaron Judge smiled and pumped his fist. Go to r/hockey, and that has just got some. That's amazing. the Connor McDavid copy pasta about how a guy's like maybe he needs another year in the minors, and then everyone just down. He had like 900 downvotes, and he edits it, and he's like, Connor McDavid is a golden god, and I'm a shill living in my mom's basement. I should be killed. It's the greatest thing I've ever read.
Yeah, yes. If nothing else, you should know Trevor Bauer as the drone guy.
Is it bad? Is it bad that for like a minute, for some strange reason, when you said Trevor Bauer, I thought of Joe Mauer?
Isn't Trevor Bauer that guy from 24?
I think that was the point Tony made at the time. He was like, it's not like Trevor Bauer slicing his finger open with a drone was a huge story in the news last year or anything.
Exactly. Like, he just pitched in the World Series last year. Like, how would like even casual baseball fans know who he is at that point?
It's the drone guy.
Exactly. Yeah, it's the drone guy.
It's the drone guy.
No, see, when I hear Trevor Bauer, first thing I always think of is that at bat he had where he mimicked all his teammates'
I remember that.
Yeah.
It's the only reason I remember Billy the Marlin is because of the time that he missed Mike Redmond and hit Billy the Marlin struck. The pitch. I can post.
Anyone wants to read that Connor McDavid copy pasta?
I remember that. Yeah.
Discussion.
I'm gonna go light myself on fire now.
The best part is I am a rodent and he is a golden god.
I am but a lowly neckbeard Maple fan who lives in my mother's basement, here to shit on him for not getting 50 goals in his first 3 games. It's amazing.
I am a rodent and he is a golden god. I'm gonna go light myself on fire now. Thank you for showing me the error of my ways with you jamming the downvote arrow on your computer screen with all your might and telling me how much of an idiot I am.
It's amazing. All right, so I have a fake baseball question here.
Go ahead.
Sure.
So, how do I start a brawl with another team?
You submit.
Talk well about the Phillies.
You go to the ump. You ask him for.
Okay, one at a time. One at a time.
First.
You go to the ump, okay, and then you say, "I want to start a brawl," and then the ump answers you, "Okay, what's your brawl number?" And then you go, and you give, you give the number, and if you get closer, your punch lands a little better.
Okay, cool.
It doesn't end up in right field.
Another way you can start a brawl is go change rules without the PA's consideration first.
Oh,
The only 500.
Because I want to start a legit rivalry with somebody that rivals like early 2000 Red Sox Yankees. Like, I want to like just hate one of you guys with a passion.
Well, it's the Dodgers, obviously.
Yeah, but he's muted. No. I want to talk shit to somebody right now.
Let's go. Come on, fight me.
Yeah, okay, fine. You know, the Padres GM has been muted the whole time anyway.
I have a faux rivalry with Toronto just because I go to school with Matus and we've been friends for like 10 years.
I mean, at least I have a first-round draft pick.
I already have 3 studs. I have 3 All-Stars on my team right now. That's more All-Stars than the Padres have had in the last 3 years.
Statistically, I have the best hitter in the MLR. Meerkat Tim is hitting .666.
Yes, there we go. Yes, I want to be I'm gonna be the heel of this MLR.
You're the heel? Well, that makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, so it's.
I'm the face.
I mean, between
It's
Nolan
actually
Ryan
just
and
trying to
Rudy.
make friends.
Nah, fuck. I'm not here to make friends.
See here,
That's the point.
I'm here to win whatever the paper cup
I'm a
is.
White Sox fan, and even I have to say that Robin Ventura deserved.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
little known fact, but the only 500 thrown in a brawl number was Ventura against Ryan.
Oof. That's rough.
By the way, a GM tip to all new players that for some odd reason are deciding to watch this: don't throw anything that actually ends with 2 zeros.
No, go ahead. If you're versing my team, throw whatever gets us a good
Unless
home.
you're pie, in which case, just keep doing what you're doing, bud.
If you throw for my team, always throw 69. I don't care what happens.
Let me go ahead and put a disclaimer to all our prospects listening. If there's any pitcher prospects, don't pitch while you're intoxicated.
Lane Drew.
You did
for the
well that
Blue
game.
Jays.
I did well after I sobered
That's
up.
true. That's
Gary
true.
Evans.
Lane Drew for the Blue Jays threw hit a 34 in honor of Roy Halladay. He hit a fucking home run for it.
Ooh, that's nice. That's spicy. Because the pitcher, meanwhile, was throwing a 34 to be respectful to Roy Halladay, and he got fucked for it.
Yeah, I mean, the Roy Halladay thing was obviously really
Dude,
tough.
Namus, I was playing Xbox with him, and he told me, he was like, Roy Halladay died. I was like, what? It was like it was mind blowing. I was like, how's Roy Halladay dead?
I just
Yeah.
hope
Yeah,
he
once-
wasn't on drugs.
Once they said there was a press conference, then I knew it was going to be him. Because they wouldn't have a press conference and go, hey guys, it's not him.
Oh,
So once they're like,
Roy
there's a press
Halladay's
conference at
playing
4
yeah,
o'clock,
but
I
I
was
was-
like,
I was on
it's got to be him.
I think me and Pony were kind of on the same page. Like once they were like, "Oh yeah, they're gonna announce it," whatever. I was just like, "Yeah, it's him." Like,
Yeah.
like,
They're not going to have a press conference and go, hey, guess what, guys? It was just some random guy in his plane.
There
So
was a-
once they said there's a press conference, I was like, there's no way it wasn't
yeah,
him.
He had a
we're
clause.
very sorry to report that Roy Halladay's good friend Greg passed away.
Yeah, and that was my point on like our baseball too. I was like, come on, guys, let's be real. None of us give a fuck if it's his friend, okay?
Yeah.
Like, let's not pretend to be like all holier than thou. And what do you mean this is a good situation? Like, come on, guys. The only reason we're
People are
looking at it
always
is because we're scared it's
People are always going to
Roy.
virtue signal about shit like that. They're always,
He had a
going to virtue
clause
signal about
in
shit like that. But
every
it's just like, you know what?
contract that said he wasn't.
You and I
allowed to
both
use
know.
pilots
You and I
list.
both know that if this wasn't Roy Halladay's plan, we wouldn't give a shit. So
Yeah.
Exactly. It's like, come on, guys.
On the Phillies subreddit, we basically put up the banner to be like a black background, and it has Roy Halladay in the middle. But initially, I'd like to give a shout out to my good friend Max, who is basically
No shout out.
he's my fellow GM. He's not GM. He's a fellow mod of r/Phillies, and he's on the Oakland Athletics right now in MLR. But he's really great with banners and stuff. But basically, what I had been doing, because he made like the black background, and I was like, well, I'm cutting out Roy Halladay so I can put him in the middle as like a clickable button. So I told him I'm cutting him out and using him as a button, and then he was like, oh yeah, I can put him on, it's fine because I'm putting up the banner anyway. And so I gave him the cutout of Roy Halladay and was like, yeah, I'm using it as a button, like I'm putting him as a button. And then like about like 10 minutes later, he puts it up. And on this banner, we have Roy Halladay's number encircled. So it's like a white circle with a 34 in it. He took that to mean as the button. So he literally took the arm off of the cutout of Roy Halladay and he put it on the button. So it was just a button like on the 34. So it was just like a Roy Halladay's number with an arm on it. And it looked so awful, and I was like, "Dude, what are you doing?" And he was like, "I thought you wanted to put it as the button." And I was like, "No, I mean actually the clickable button that takes you back to the home page of the subreddit." And it looked really bad. I was like, "I gotta fix this quick because people are gonna think that we're trying to be like cheeky or something, and we're actually not."
Is Ryan Gasting Toronto's compensation for Timlin?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, where the hell did this guy come from?
Yeah, I promised him I'd give him just quickly.
Yeah, that was the first. He had first dibs at the left-handed pitchers.
Yeah, that was before we started doing the compensation picks, so I just gave it to him real quick.
Low key, we're never drafting, are we? This is just a never-ending hell.
Well, the current session's already a weekend.
You just null and void the current games.
It's just a little experiment. Like, he wants to see how far we go before we start going crazy.
Yeah, until I completely lose on my draft picks.
That's going to wake up tomorrow, and he's going to have split the league again.
Okay, I've completely lost all my draft picks.
Don't talk about league splitting. Mike got really angry with me.
I'd like to announce some rule changes that Jay has put in.
Yeah, stealing just happens now. You just steal. You just go. You just go automatically.
You just go. You just say I want to go, and you just go.
To steal, basically, you need 2 computers, and like if you have like a library nearby, you can use it. And basically, what you have to do to steal is you have to start on one computer and then run quickly to the other computer, and we track your IP so we know that you change computers. And like if you get to it fast enough, you successfully steal.
You need to get somebody else to time how fast you can run 60 feet.
That's what I'm saying. I want a 60 time of every single player on fake Reddit ball if they really want to steal, and then we can time that with the arm of every catcher in the league, and then we'll figure something out that way.
We can use
every catcher's time.
We can use one of them keyboard races.
Can't we just say fuck stealing and just be like, hey, don't?
No, this is baseball.
Metric wise, it doesn't matter.
Stealing is fine. We're just memeing. Like we've got something to stealing.
If anybody has complaints about Jay, I would like to direct you to a good friend of mine. His name is Judah.
Huh? Say that again?
Oh, dear God.
If anybody's got any complaints about Jay, I'd like to direct you to a good friend of mine named Judah.
Yeah,
he's not to steal.
He's the president of the complaints about Jay department.
You guys can create your own little group and complain to each other.
Just make a little
GMs. We complain about each other enough.
Disagreement box.
Also,
I'll just put up like one of them.
Oakland Athletics.
You go. Sorry. Are you done?
I said this group is also known as the Oakland Athletics.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just send all of your complaints to Citizen Banks Park, courtesy of Jay.
I'm just gonna put up like a sign that says like press this button if you have any complaints, and it'll have like a rat trap under it, like I like one of those store things that they have set up sometimes.
You just make like the complaint box, but inside it's just an incinerator.
Yeah, I agree, Mike.
What's the most petty complaint you've had so far?
Me?
Yeah.
Shit, that's a good question because there's
the at sign instead of the verses.
yeah, that's it. Ah, damn, yeah.
Like, why are we even like that was legitimately a
that was a thing.
Wait, what happened?
Why are we doing this?
He was getting all mad about when he was getting mad about the versus against at thing or whatever.
In the titles of our game day threads, like every umpire does like a slightly different thing. It's like I think it's a charm, but like sometimes
time for Hitler on there though. Don't do that.
But sometimes people will put like this team versus this team. Sometimes people will put this team at this team, and then Judah comes in. He's like, "Well, the MLB standards say that it needs to be at for it to be an official game." I'm like, "Fuck, shut up."
You know,
tell him to fuck
MLB standards. It's almost like it's fake baseball. You guys think about that? Like, it's almost like we're playing a game that's not real.
But here's my thing, though. Because this is like...
It's real to me.
It's funny to make fun of, but like...
It's real to me, damn.
The page. He had to have looked at the games and specifically been like that's just looking for something to complain about. Like, why would you go to that subreddit and just be like, you know what? God damn it, they need at signs. Like...
He complains to me about hex codes.
The Toronto Blue should be about 0.5% darker. So,
yeah.
Oh my god, that thing.
I say we
probably shouldn't be allowed to use their old colors.
Say that again?
The Padres should be allowed to use their old colors.
Yeah, man. That's what you're doing.
No, the point is, it's like, you've got to be realistic and normal.
Yeah.
Yes, because we want the Dodger, Royal, all these other team blue.
I was gonna say, can we like send like an official complaint to MLB and be like, can you please change your fucking colors?
Dick.
And like,
you're really fucking up our fake game here.
I really just didn't want that gray and blue shit that was going on.
The gray and blue.
I really do apologize for that. Like,
well, because I was trying to figure it out. Because I was looking at all the teams and I was like, what? What if we went like old school Rangers? And then I saw somehow that one. And I was like, oh, okay.
It was just funny because right before you came in, I had already been bitching about the fact that we had just gotten another red and blue team. And so, like, I was like, I swear to God, if we get another red and blue team, and I was like, hey, we got the Rangers. I'm just like, motherfucker.
Well, if we're looking to go all 30 teams, I mean, we gotta have it sooner or later. We can't run away from them forever, Admiral. We gotta get them.
What's up with teams in blue in the MLB?
Okay, I have a different question. Why the fuck is Toronto in the American League?
Because they are.
Shut up. Because they are.
Okay, well, they're not in America.
North America.
No, it's not North America. No, this is a legit question, and this pisses me off every time I think about it.
Like their own league just by themselves.
Yeah, like, the Canadian League. Yeah,
they could be in the National League, I guess.
Like independent.
That would actually
Yeah,
no, the more I think about it, the more that actually makes sense because they should be in the National League.
Exactly. Yeah, they shouldn't be in the fucking American League.
Can we make the provincial league? Is that?
Yeah, we'll put the Expos up there too.
The Ontario League.
I was gonna say, are they just gonna be like an independent, like Notre Dame in football?
Yeah, they'll be Notre Dame in football pretty much. They'll just be independent. Them in Montreal, and you still have 28 teams, so it's even.
I want the Expos to come back, but Quebec is just the worst.
Yeah. They're gonna put it in Vegas. We all know that.
From Baltimore.
FICO is
if they put a sports book in a Las Vegas baseball stadium, I'm in.
What? Oh. Yeah, FICO is at least partially Quebecois, so he'll fight you about that.
I will come and fight him. God, if literally if any country came over and it's like, yo, can we buy Canada? And it's like, no. It's like, we'll gas Quebec. It's like, done.
That shit got real dark.
It did. I just turned into Hitler.
Ooh.
Yeah, what the hell's going on?
Someone pop champagne over there?
Champagne?
No, it's just
Charles. No,
it was just
a bad idea.
An ice cold
Pete
shiner.
Rose does not deserve to be in baseball.
Wait, hold on a second.
Pete Rose.
If Pete Rose died 10 years ago, he would have been in the Hall of Fame by now.
I'll die on this hill.
Pete Rose should be in the Hall of Fame.
Should not be in the Hall of Fame. He
Pete
should
Rose
not
should
be in the Hall of Fame.
He should not be in the
Pete Rose should be in the Hall of Fame.
Number one.
I'm actually going to join Whit Bass on this one because Pete Rose. It's a kind of a complicated thing, but it ultimately comes down to
put Petey in the Hall.
Broke the one rule that you're not.
I said that.
I mean, here's
all right. I see the thing. It's the difference between steroids and gambling is that steroids is literally tampering
and the fact
with.
That he agreed to the lifetime ban. Like,
none of that.
He
Okay,
made
here's
a
the thing.
deal with MLB.
My dad always says this. On every clubhouse door, there was a sign that said no gambling. He knew what the punishment was. It wasn't like a new thing. It's been around since the fucking Black Sox. And he did it anyway. We're legal at the time.
Here's my thing about the whole thing. I don't care about him doing it as a player. I think like if he bets on himself to win every night, that's okay. But as a manager, betting on your team to win, like you could just pretty much use up your bullpen in a regular season game that doesn't matter in like July or August. And then just like lose the next couple games. Like you could really affect that as a manager.
Yeah, you can literally throw games to win money, and that just.
Well, he says that he never bet on himself to lose, but like betting on himself to win as a manager, you're going to do literally everything possible to try and win that game, and that might cost the next couple games.
The conversation between him and MLB kind of went like, "Hey, Pete, we think you were gambling on games." Like, no, I wasn't. We're like, we've got proof you gambled on games. It's like, well, I never did it as a man. It's like I only ever did it as a manager or whatever. It's like I never did it as a manager. It's like, well, we've got proof you did it as a manager. It's like I only ever bet on the Reds to win, and they're just like, all right, Pete, if you just agree to the lifetime ban now, we'll stop looking. And he's like, all right.
I like how the chats agreed to.
That's basically how that works.
You know, at this point, does it even matter if Pete Rose even care if he's in the Hall of Fame? Like he has
I think he does.
He's been applying for reinstatement recently, but it's like, dude, you agreed to the lifetime ban. It's not.
I really think
he does. I don't think he wants to be in the Hall of Fame to be in the Hall of Fame. He wants to be in the Hall of Fame to make money off it. That's what I think.
But I think that legit, if he died 10 years ago, he would have been in the Hall of Fame by now. No question.
No bonds.
Yeah, because his mouth wouldn't have fucked him over a couple of years ago when he met with Manfred.
Exactly, and he would have released a book whenever Frank Thomas gets in the Hall of Fame.
All right. Well, it's been 2 hours, so we can talk about this like off the actual stream, but I should probably end it right here. It's for the actual stream. So thanks guys for watching this MLB edition of MLR.
Of Reddit
Put PD in the
bar
hall.
So thank you. Bye.